Hi, so I decided to not upload the video quite yet because I'm gonna make this rant quotation marks. It's probably not gonna be really a rant. It's just gonna be like video, you know? And um since the horse thing didn't work out, I'm just gonna start this off with I cannot lease a horse, but my grandma's friend actually has a horse that actually needs to be worked with, and I'm probably going to do lessons on her so that I can get her used to stuff. Her name is Gabby, and sorry, my eyes were hurting. Her name is Gabby. She's really sweet. She's like a nuzzler. She just needs to be worked with and needs to do something. So that's what I'm going to do with her. So let's just start out um, with the ferret that I'm going to get. People are going to rant on me, like hate me because I'm not going to have multiple levels in like my ferret cage. It's going to be like more like a playpen. I'm not making levels to my cage for a certain reason, and the reason is it just makes no sense to me. Sorry, my head ages. I have like this weird little thing on my head, and it just like I have like this bug bite on my head, so it itches every now and then. So yeah, if you guys yell at me, if anyone, and I'm just gonna say this now, if anyone yells at me for not having multiple levels in my cage, you know, I'm not even gonna talk to you. I'm not even gonna respond. I'm just gonna be like, okay, because I honestly don't care. I mean, ferrets are supposed to have that many levels, but then you look at some ferrets and some of them have like they live in pet stores with cages that are 2 foot by 2 foot with like a foot tall area. So don't do this to me because it's stupid, okay? I my ferret cage is actually huge, okay? So just don't go off saying you need to have levels to your cage because you know I don't care. I don't care because it's plenty big. Levels actually don't do anything for a ferret. Everyone says that it does because it supplies more space. It doesn't even do anything. It's like you can take all those levels out and it's just a tall cage. You can lane it on its side, whatever. But you know what? I'm not gonna have levels to my cage. That's just what I'm not. I'm just gonna do that, okay? Um, I just want. I don't want anyone to be like, oh, you need to add levels. Why do I need levels? Okay, you guys can be like, it supplies more space and it makes the ferret stretch. Ferret can stretch in a cage that's if it's big enough, you don't need levels, and I actually know that because I talked to my vet, and my vet is actually knowledge, and she said if you have a big enough space, you don't have to make it a tall cage and with levels or anything. Most people just have levels because it's taller and there's more space for the ferret, and they either A, need a smaller cage, or B, they think the myth that ferrets need to have levels. They don't need to have levels. If your ferret cage is big, and I mean big, you honestly don't need to have the stupid levels. I mean, you guys can go off and yell at me and be like, you're wrong, you're wrong. But my vet and some of my family who has had ferrets said that actually they don't need them. Like, they just need to have some space to run and they need to sleep in like cozy places. They need to have fun with their life. So just don't even say, you know, oh, you need to have levels, because you know what, I don't care. I've talked to people and they say that most people just have the levels to give a bigger space and help their ferrets stretch out a little more, and I completely understand why some of you guys would say, okay, well, the ferret has to have levels. Okay, but please don't scream at me about it, because, you know, I'm just gonna say I don't care, and if you guys are like, well, no, 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 and start yelling at me, I'm just gonna actually report you, because you don't yell at me for that crap. It's stupid to yell at someone for that, because especially if they don't need to have the layers. It's basically some like the Ferret Nation's a great cage. It's really big, I heard. But you know, I mean, it won't have to have levels, okay? Go on and yell at me, but I don't think that ramps are needed for anything. Like, I have a friend whose mom is a vet. I talked to her, and she said it's not necessary, like completely necessary, for a ferret to have levels. And I've had so many friends that had ferrets who don't have cages with levels, and their ferrets are perfectly fine. So, I mean, they're healthy, they are great, and they haven't had hip dysplasia. Some ferrets actually get hip dysplasia from doing the going up and down levels because they have to get from their litter box to their food, to their litter box, to a hammock, and sometimes they want the hammock that's upstairs. So, I mean, just think about it. A ferret doesn't have to have that kind of stuff. I mean, it's nice for it, but it's not like 100% needed. It's like you can have it if you want it, but if you have a big enough cage, you actually don't have to have it. So I'm just gonna say that now. Don't yell at me, because I will actually report you, and I just want everyone to know that right at this very moment, I will report you for yelling at me about something retarded. It's stupid to fight over this. I mean, if you believe that, you can believe that. I'm not going to make you believe different. You can believe whatever you want to believe. I'm going to believe whatever I want to believe. And I'm just going to say, if you guys have levels on your cage, that's awesome. If you don't, that's awesome too. As long as your ferret is getting enough exercise and has enough space, I'm okay with it. But if you have a cage that's a foot by a foot by a foot, I'm going to be really upset. Or that's 14 inches by 14 inches by 14 inches. That's too small. Too small, okay? Just make your cages big enough, and that's all I'm going to ask. You guys can have multiple levels to it. Just please don't yell at me. I'm just going to say that now. Don't yell at me because you believe that a ferret has to have levels. Okay, well, I don't think that they have to, because it's not really going to do anything. A ferret is actually not made to climb like that. They're not made to go up ramps like that. They're made to stay in flat areas. Actually, I've done my research. Yes, surprisingly, they're made. They're meant to stay on flat areas. Because a weasel, if you look up a weasel and you look up where they live and stuff, most of the time they live in flat areas or low-hilled areas. Because we have weasels where I live. There's big hills, but they live in grass fields here. And I've seen like 20 of them out at a park, and they are cute, but they are evil. I had one chase my friend, and it was kind of funny, but she had to go and get a rabies vaccination. Let's just say that, because she got the rabies because the ferret had the rabies, and then they took the ferrets away, so, or they took that clan away. All the other clans that my friend has gone and seen have been really nice. Her mom feeds them and stuff, but yeah, ferrets just, normally they don't do that, and you can have a leveled cage. I'm not saying you can't have a leveled cage. You can have whatever you want, and just don't yell at me for having the cage that I have, okay? So I just want to get that out there. You can have a leveled cage, go for it. Not my business, not your business. I have a flat cage, no one's business, okay? I'm just gonna flat out tell you that now. Just don't yell at me for having a flat cage. Thank you, and thanks for watching this video. It turned out to be a rant. So thanks for watching.